There's a number of creatures and monsters seen in the Resident Evil franchise that encapsulate the gore and horror found within the virus-ridden world of the Capcom games, ranging from the Mr. X line of super soldiers, the hunters, to the variants of zombies that pop out of the shadows to consume the flesh of unsuspecting victims. But none of these are perhaps as unsettling and grotesque as the Lickers, which were mutated infected humans that had contorted into animalistic monsters, set on hunting the non-infected survivors. Hey guys, what's happening? Niyat here with Film Comics Explained, and as requested, today we'll be taking a closer look at the Lickers featured in the games, as well as both the live action and animated films. The Lickers were essentially mutated humans that resulted from the VACT process, a trait in certain T-virus strains which forced a second set of mutations among severely injured zombies. Noted for their large exposed brains and a lack of skin and eyes, these creatures would use their extreme sensitivity to sound and their eponymous tongues to stalk their prey throughout the series. Though the Lickers were human in origin, the extent of their mutations, which turned them into monsters, led to many people assuming that they were a new species altogether. When it comes to the mutative process, in zombies, the skin would become necrotic, tearing apart at the seams, and the muscles, though strengthened, ultimately deteriorated as well. During the VACT process, any remaining skin would be shed, exposing the muscles and leading to the growth of new muscle fibers, making the Lickers considerably stronger and more durable. The skeleton would also be altered as well, turning them from bipedal locomotors to quadrupedal movers that walked on all fours. This new body shape turned them into agile hunters that could jump at their prey with greater speed and power. Similarly, their claws also became longer and more durable, enabling them to cling to walls and ceilings, and thereby giving them more control over the terrain they would use to stalk their prey. The eyes would then cease to function, becoming lost entirely over time, and their sense of hearing would increase astronomically to counteract this. Finally, the tongue of the Lickers would extend to be several feet long, becoming powerful enough to be used as a weapon that was capable of slicing into flesh, which gave rise to many of the survivors calling the creatures Lickers. The earliest known Lickers appeared in the second half of 1998 and mutated from zombies infected with an unnamed T-virus strain, which was a further modification of the E-virus. This substrain of the T-virus was more likely to create tyrant variants by limiting brain damage and was first used in an experiment on a male prisoner. Not realizing that the virus could transform into an airborne strain, the staff at the Arklay laboratory were unprepared for its contamination of both the air and water supplies, which in turn began infecting the unsuspecting staff that were above ground. While a number of Lickers were kept as test subjects at Umbrella's nest facility beneath Raccoon City, when the modified E-virus leaked out of the facility on September 23, 1998, it began contaminating the entire drinking supply of Raccoon City. This led to the accidental infection of thousands of residents who were now capable of mutating into Lickers, and shortly thereafter, most of the densely populated locations within town like the hotels, the police station, malls, and schools became a hotspot for the creatures. In the years that followed, interest into the Lickers as bioweapons began to increase from Umbrella as well as their black market competitors. By 2009, Tricell was producing a cloned version of the Lickers, further enhanced with a progenitor virus infection, and another supplier even created clones implanted with Plaga parasites, enabling them to be controlled by humans that were also infected with Plaga.
Get him!
Throughout the extensive Resident Evil series, there have been a number of iterations of the Lickers, including the Evolved Licker, the Suspended Licker, and the Beta Licker. The Evolved Licker. Seen in the underground laboratory of Raccoon City in Resident Evil: The Darkside Chronicles, these Lickers were exposed to chemical compounds within the gases that were released to exterminate the infected plants in some parts of Umbrella's underground facility. The gas, however, altered their already T-virus warped genome, giving them reptilian skin and increasing their muscle density, making them stronger and more resistant to damage than their original variants. The Suspended Licker. A hotly debated point of contention among scholars, this creature was either an irregular mutation or a zombie that was in mid-transformation, given its underdeveloped features and abilities. Unlike the other variants, its eyes were still functional, though its hearing was sensitive enough that loud noises caused it distress, and while its tongue wasn't strong enough to slice through flesh, it was able to use it as a means of attacking its prey. The Beta Licker. This version of the Licker was the result of Tricell's decision to research and develop the Licker data left behind by Umbrella. The fruits of their labour led to the creation of the beta version that was produced by administering the progenitor virus to an average licker, which increased their durability and intelligence. While their experiments failed to solve the lack of vision inherent in all the licker variants, they did manage to increase their sense of hearing and smell, as well as giving them the ability to reproduce, ushering a new dawn of horrific bioorganic weapons. Well, that's all for today, folks. A big thanks to all of you guys who requested we explore the lickers featured throughout the extensive Resident Evil series. Don't forget to hit subscribe and click the notification icon to stay up to date on all my content, and if there's anything else you'd like to request, please don't hesitate to ask. As always, it's been a pleasure. Niyat here with Film and Comics Explained. Thanks for stopping by.